The latest and greatest cargo bike from Tern was announced today, the new Tern HSD Gen 3. If you know me, you know the Tern HSD has been my favorite go-to short-tail electric cargo bike since it came out back in 2019. So 7 years ago, when the original HSD came out, I coined it the crossover of cargo bikes. The latest update pushes it a bit further into the heavy-duty cargo field, which may be great for some and could be disappointing to others. So the question is, will Tern continue their premium cargo bike dominance here in the US? And what's up with all the new shifting tech they are offering across the models? All right, let's dig in. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Arleigh, a previous cargo bike shop owner, worked in product at Tern, and now I help families move more with tech. So let's start off with some basics about the HSD cargo bike. If you're here for all the new updates, skip forward to the next section. HSD stands for Haul Stuff Daily. This bike is by far my favorite functional cargo bike for folks to have a rock-solid bike that rides really well, can carry up to one passenger, and truly helps folks leave the car at home for everyday errands. Tern uses Bosch's mid-drive e-bike system, so the motor is between your cranks built into the frame. It's definitely the most efficient power transfer from your pedals to the motor system. You have a removable battery, and the entire e-bike system made by Bosch is tested to the strict UL 2879 e-bike standard. The HSD is a one-size-fits-most bike thanks to the adjustable handlebars and a two-stage adjustable seat post, allowing it to get really short and really tall. Both of these things are very easy to adjust when you're swapping out between riders, unless you lock them down for security. The step over and through is pretty low. The pedals, where you put your feet, are slightly in front of you a bit. It's very comfortable, but not as aggressive as, say, the Electra Go. If you're looking for a stable bike with true hauling capacity, the HSD is the most stable and comfortable bike I've ever tested without getting into a longer, heavy-duty cargo bike. Quickly going through some of the other features that I love about the HSD, it can become pretty compact thanks to a folding handle post and that adjustable seat post that can lower pretty far down. It can be stored vertically like all Tern e-bikes. This is really handy for storage, but also to be able to do service at home or on the side of the road. Tern also has this accessory ecosystem that is second to none. And with the update they pushed out this week, there are also some new exciting accessories. Look for my next video that goes through all of the new accessories and why you may or may not want to upgrade. And the last thing to know about Tern's e-bikes is that there is a 10-year warranty if you register the bike with something called Tern Care. Doesn't cost you any money, it's just registering the bike directly with Tern, which you should do if you own a Tern bike. So what's new in the Tern HSD Gen 3? You have an updated frame, motor, and a lot going on with the different models. So the Gen 3 has an all-new frame with a longer wheelbase, so the wheel length is going to be a little bit longer, and a lower center of gravity, which is really important when you're carrying heavier loads. I haven't seen any geometry charts, but the head tube I know is a little bit more slack, and I assume the seat tube, but I haven't checked yet. The frame is 6 to 7% stiffer, they claim, in the front, which should help with the updated weight capacity. It can now carry 419 pounds for a gross max vehicle weight, which includes the bike, all your accessories, your cargo, any passenger, and yes, your own weight. Speaking of your weight, the max rider weight is 287 pounds, and now the rider height can go up to 6'9", depending on your leg length, and the rear rack can hold 176 pounds. That updated rider weight and height is because the seat tube is going to be a little bit bigger. The seat post is a little bit bigger, much like we saw on the HSD Gen 3 that came out last year. So the heavier duty frame also brings a heavier base weight than the Gen 2, and especially the Gen 1, which I'll cover under the models. There is a newish motor, and I say newish because the HSD Gen 3 is using Bosch's Gen 5 UFI motor, which is claimed 400 grams lighter and 300% reduced friction. So when you're pedaling, your pedals attached to cranks and your cranks attached to the motor, and you're going to have less friction in that motor. The newish comment came because the Class 1 bike, you don't get an increase in the torque or assistance. The Class 3 bike with the Performance Line Sport gets a large bump in power, which I'll cover as I break down the different models. Here in the US, you're going to see 4 different models. I will say Tern does sell across the world, and each region does have different offerings. If you let me know where you are located, I can create a different video for you and run down your unique spec and pricing. Everything I'm about to say about these 4 models is true for Canada, except for pricing, but you don't get the 2 Class 3 bikes. So you're only going to get the 2 Class 1 bikes, and I'll note below the Canadian pricing. So there's a lot to unpack in the models, and I may end up making a completely different video after I try them all out later this summer. But here's what I can tell you. Here in the US, all models come with a 545 watt-hour power pack, which is a battery that locks under the rear rack and is removable. They also all come with the same Magura brakes to handle the heavier duty cargo load. So let's start off with the most affordable model, the HSD P5i. This is a Class 1 that will assist you up to 20 miles per hour. So you have to be pedaling and just gives you assistance to go a little bit faster or easier. It has an internal Shimano Nexus 5 hub. That's why it has an I in the model name. And it means all the shifting is inside your rear wheel. It also means there's a Gates belt drive and very low maintenance. This is the lightest HSD Gen 3 option at 62 pounds. But I will say for comparison, the first Gen HSD lightest option was 56.5 pounds before any accessories. And this may not seem like much, but if you're trying to load it or carry it up steps, this may matter more than the motor strength or rear rack capacity. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about the weight of the bike. My guess is this P5i option will be the most popular option here in North America due to price and function. Next up is the HSD P10e. Yes, I said E. The E stands for electronic shifting using TRP's system. This can either be manually shifted, so you still use your fingers, or automatic, adjusted through the Bosch system. It's also the only model in the HSD Gen 3 lineup that uses a derailleur. And that electronic shifting is powered by the e-bike battery, so you don't have anything else to worry about. This is a Class 3 model with the new Performance Line Sport motor. It's going to assist you up to 28 miles per hour. The Sport has a steeper curve towards the end, so you have to definitely earn those last 8 miles per hour. There's no throttle, but what's special about this new motor is you get a crazy 90 newton meters of torque and up to 600% support. So it will amplify up to 600% of what you're putting in. This is crazy. So if that max torque or assistance is interesting to you, here's a little tip. Within the Bosch Flow app, you can actually lower your max speed. So say you love the idea of having the most power and strongest motor option, but you don't need that additional speed. You could get one of these Class 3 options and just lower the speed assistance. Let me know if this is something you want to see in another video, and I can show you a step-by-step in the Bosch Flow app. This bike weighs in at 62.6 pounds without any accessories. Moving on to the P00 or poo, as some call it. So this is the exact same bike as the P5i, but with Enviolo's continuously variable hub. This is my favorite internal hub system, as you don't have predefined stops in your shifting. You just turn the shifter wherever you want, and you determine how hard and easy it is. It does add a little bit of weight for 63.7 pounds and $600 to the price. Now, the first 3 models that I just went through are all P-class bikes. The name starts with a P. They use the Bosch Puron 200 display, have the Suntour Mobi 32 fork, and a solid adjustable telescopic C-post. The last model in this lineup is the S9i. The S is Tern's premium line, so you're going to see an upgraded Bosch Kiox 300 display that's removable, and a pre-installed Connect module, which is this really cool system that plugs into your motor with a built-in alarm and GPS security. You can always add that after to any of the other P lines. And then there's also a beefier fork, a Mobi 34, and a suspension C-post. The S9i is a class 3 bike with that stronger performance line sport motor, and it uses a newer shifting system, the 3x3. I haven't spent a lot of time on this internally geared system except for a few years ago at Eurobike, and I'm really excited to learn more about it. And I assume that Tern has done their research to make sure there's good service here in the US for it. As I mentioned at the top, I hope to spend some time on these different models to be able to give you a full model pro and con rundown. So let me know if you have any specific questions about the models, and I'll cover it in a future video. So before I get into my first impressions, let's talk about how to purchase. Tern is expecting these in North America in late summer 2026. You can purchase Terns in 2 ways. You can pre-order through your local Tern dealer, or if you don't have one, you can order through the official Tern store website, and they will find you a local shop to help build it for you. My guess is the first wave of these will sell out directly to local Tern dealers. So if you want one, do yourself a favor, call up that shop, put a deposit down, and get one on order. So now onto my first impressions. The models have me scratching my head, but I completely trust that the North American distributor has their reasons, and I'm definitely excited to see the differences in the TRP electric shifting and then that new 3x3 shifting. My product designer brain does have some requests for the Tern team. Number 1, please bring the GSD lock stand to the HSD, especially when it's able to carry more and more. That lock stand is why I continue to ride the GSD with one of my kiddos when I really should be riding an HSD. And my second request, why is the frame lock still in the back when you already have a fork that has a frame lock on the front? Please move it out of the way so I don't have to wrestle under bags and bike carrying, kid carrying setups. All right, so I've been in Europe for the last couple of weeks, so my test model will arrive in the next couple of days, and I can't wait to test it next to the HSD S00 Gen 2 I ride pretty often without kids. Obviously, the first thing is going to be ride comparison to the Gen 2 and how that new frame geometry, longer wheelbase, lower center of gravity feels. I'm also interested to see, I don't know which shifting option they're sending to me, but definitely excited to test out the different shifting tech and then new accessories. I'm really excited to try out that new Clubhouse Mini and some of the new front racks. Okay, so I do have a couple last things as I close up this video. Signing off. The HSD is a one-of-a-kind premium cargo bike. It's a hauler, and it easily sells itself in the right cities for someone that has the budget. It's insanely comfortable to ride, and the Tern ecosystem is one of a kind. So even with the tariffs and insane shipping cost, I think the bikes are priced pretty well, even compared to like the pandemic pricing that the HSD Gen 1 had. I will say that Tern really stepped out of their typical model lineup with some of these shifting options and not having a basic Shimano trailer bike. It's definitely an interesting move. I'm excited to hear what you think of the options. Let me know what you would like to have tested out and your initial thoughts on these new models. And make sure to hit subscribe and look for that new accessory video coming out in the next day or so. All right, until next time, thanks so much for watching this far. Stay well, stay good, and remember to bike more and worry less.